guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet my super easy crochet slouchy beanie. It's a really cute classic hat that realistically, everyone needs this in their cold weather wardrobe. So the yarn I'm using today is Impeccable by Loops and Threads, but I've also used Red Heart soft yarn, and so they both work really well for this pattern. But I mean, you could really use whatever yarn that you like. You just want to be careful to make sure if you're using a yarn that's different than the two that I've just mentioned, then with the band part of the pattern, when you're working on the band, you want to make sure that you are going to be measuring it. That's really the only part that matters, is because it's the part that goes around your head. So you want the sizing to be accurate. And you can find a link to the size chart that I use in the description below. And that is where, if you do it for 2 inches smaller than the size of the circumference of the head that you need, so then you should be fine. But if you're going to be using one of these yarns that I just mentioned, Red Heart Soft or Impeccable by Loops and Threads, then you could just follow the stitch count. The size for this is a one size fits most teen adult sizing, and you're going to need a 5mm crochet hook. And if you have a hard time keeping track of your rows when you're working in the round, a stitch marker is definitely helpful to use as well. I swear by stitch markers. I really, these have become my favorite thing. I used to love living dangerously and not need stitch markers, but you know what? It just makes life so much easier. So I do recommend using a stitch marker. And there are links in the description below if you need any of these materials, and they can be shipped right to your door. So go ahead and have a look at that. If there's anything missing in these materials that you need, there are links below, as well as if you would prefer to use the written pattern, or if you want to have the written pattern to follow along with the video, there is a link for the written pattern as well in the description below. Okay, let's get started on our pattern. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. So you're going to have to start by making your starting loop, and you can just wrap the yarn around your finger and cross it over like this. Pick up that little bottom bit and push a small amount of the top piece through, just not fully through, and it'll form that little starting loop that you can go ahead and get that on your hook. Okay, so we're going to chain 5. So yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the loop. Just go ahead and do that 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Now we're going to attach our last chain to our very first chain to create a ring, and we're going to do it with a slip stitch. So you're going to push your hook in that chain there, yarn over, and just pull that loop right through the 2 loops that are on your hook. Okay, we're going to chain 2. And it's important to note that this chain 2 space is never going to count. It's never going to count as a stitch in this pattern. Okay. In fact, when we go around and we're closing our rounds, we're going to be closing them in the top of that chain 2 space. So this is a pretty good spot to go ahead and put your stitch marker so that you can keep track of where your rounds start and end. And where you need to close them in the top of that chain 2 space. It can get a little bit tricky, and that just takes some of the stress away from it. Okay, so working into the middle of your ring, we're going to do 10 double crochets. So you're going to yarn over your hook, push it right into the middle of that ring, yarn over, and pull up a loop. So now you've got 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2. Yarn over and pull through the next 2 loops. All right, I'll do one more with you guys. Yarn over, go in the middle of the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop. 3 loops are on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, and pull through the last 2. So go ahead and do that 8 more times and then come back. Okay, so now that you've gone and done that 10 times and we're back at the beginning, here's your little stitch marker if you put one, and it's indicating where the top of that chain 2 space was. That's where we're going to close our round with a slip stitch. Okay, and then you're just going to go ahead and chain 2 again. So you can either move that stitch marker up and put it in the top of the next chain 2, or you can just use it as a guide and know that it's lined up here. Okay, so now we're going to be increasing our rounds for the next few rounds. Okay, so we're going to do 2 double crochets, but we're working into the stitches now. So you're going to yarn over your hook and push your hook right through the stitch, and you want to be careful to make sure that you've gone through the entire stitch there. You see how it's sort of like a V shape? Make sure that you've pushed your hook right through the whole stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Okay, you've now got 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2, yarn over and pull through the next 2. And you're going to do that again in the very same stitch that you just worked in. All right, so now you're going to go ahead and do that in every single stitch all the way around. You're just going to work 2 double crochets in every single stitch all the way around. Okay, and by the time that you get to the end of this round, you're going to close with a slip stitch in the top of that chain 2 space, and you should have a total of 20 stitches by the time you finish this round. So go ahead and finish working 2 double crochets in every single stitch all the way around. Close with a slip stitch in the top of that chain 2 space, and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished that round and you closed with a slip stitch in the top of your chain 2 space, you're going to chain 2 to start your next round. So every round you're going to close with a slip stitch, and then to start a new round, you're going to chain 2 to start your next one, okay? So now what we're going to do, I'm just having a look at where we are here. Okay, so now we're going to double crochet. Sorry about that. I was reading my written pattern as I go here. So you're going to double crochet 2 times in the first stitch. Okay, so that's twice in that very same stitch there. And you're going to double crochet once in the following. 2 in the next. And 1 in the following. Okay, and you're just going to go ahead and continue all the way around doing 2, 1, 2, 1. By the time you get to the end of this round, you should have 30 stitches, and of course you're going to close with a slip stitch, chain 2, and then come back. Okay, so now that you finished that round, you should have 30 stitches all the way around. You'll have closed with a slip stitch and chain 2. So now for this next round, we're going to double crochet 2 times in the first stitch. So that's 1 and 2. And then we're going to double crochet once in each of the following 2 stitches. Okay, so we've just worked in 3 stitches. We did 2 double crochets in the first, 1 in the following 2. And now you're going to do 2, 1, 1, 2 all the way around. You're going to close with a slip stitch and chain 2, and by the end of that round, you should have 40 stitches. So go ahead and do that and then come on back. Okay, so now that you finished that round, as I mentioned, you should have 40 stitches by now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work 2 double crochet in the first stitch. And we're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the following 3 stitches. Okay, and you're going to go ahead and continue on following that alternating pattern all the way around. You're going to close with a slip stitch and chain 2. And by the end of this round, you should have 50 stitches. Okay, so you go ahead and work that round and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished that round, you're going to work 2 double crochet in the first stitch, 1 double crochet in the following 4, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, and you're going to continue that all the way around, close with a slip stitch and chain 2. And by the end of this round, you should have a total of 60 stitches. So go ahead and do that and then come on back. Okay, so now that you've finished that round, you are going to work 2 double crochet in the first stitch, 1 double crochet in the following 5 stitches, and you're going to continue that alternating all the way around, close with a slip stitch and chain 2. And by the end of this round, you should have a total of 70 stitches. So go ahead and work that round and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished that round, you've closed with a slip stitch and chain 2. So now you're going to work 2 double crochet in the first stitch, 1 in the following 6 stitches, 2 in the next, 1 in the following 6. You're going to repeat that all the way around. You're going to close with a slip stitch, chain 2. And by the end of that round, this round that you're doing now, you're about to start, you should have 80 stitches. And don't worry, we're going to be moving on soon. It's not going to be too many more increasing rounds. Okay, so go ahead and do that and then come on back. Okay, so now that you've finished that round and you've closed with a slip stitch and you chain 2, grab your stitch marker to mark this next round. Because going forward after this next step, you're going to need to be able to count your rounds easily, so it'll be really helpful to you if you've got a stitch marker here. So for this next round, you're just going to work 1 double crochet in every single stitch all the way around. Just every single stitch all the way around is going to be 1 half double crochet, or sorry, 1 double crochet, okay? And of course, as you end the round, you're going to close with a slip stitch and you're going to chain 2. Now, if you are working on a child size, you're going to continue on working 1 double crochet in every single stitch all the way around. You're going to continue doing that for a total of 8 rounds. If you're working on an adult size, you're going to continue with your 1 double crochet in every stitch all the way around. You're going to do that for a total of 14 rounds. Now, being a slouchy hat, this step where we're making a certain amount of rounds, this is just going to determine how slouchy our hat is, okay? So you don't have to do the 8 or the 14. You could do as many as you want, just depending on the look that you're hoping to accomplish. And so go ahead and do however many rounds that you want to. When you come back, we're going to be just working on the band, and it's just a few rows of band that's going to be going around your head. So literally this step where you're working 1 double crochet in every stitch around, for the amount of rounds you do is what's going to determine how slouchy your hat is, okay? So if you want to follow my pattern exactly, then do 8 for a child size, 14 for an adult. If you feel that you just want a little bit of a different look, then just adjust this step of the pattern to however many rounds that you want to do. Okay, so go ahead and do that and then come back. Okay guys, so now that you've finished all those rounds, go ahead and move your stitch marker up. And now for this next round, we're going to work 1 half double crochet in every single stitch all the way around. So to do a half double crochet, you're just going to yarn over, push your hook through your stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Now you've got 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull right through all 3 loops. Okay, so I'll do that again with you. You're going to yarn over, push your hook in the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You've got 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. So that's how you do a half double crochet. So for this round, you're just going to go ahead and work 1 half double crochet in every stitch all the way around. You're going to close with a slip stitch and chain 1 and then come back. Okay. So now that you've closed with a slip stitch and chain 1, we're going to begin our decrease rounds. Okay. So if you're working on a child or an adult size small or medium, you are going to do one single crochet. Let me show you how to do it. So for a single crochet, you're going to push your hook in the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You've got 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through both. Okay. So if you're working on a child size or an adult small or medium, you're going to do your 1 single crochet in the first 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to do one more. Okay, so you're going to work 1 single crochet in the first 5 stitches. If you're working on an adult large or extra large, you're going to do 1 single crochet in the first 10 stitches. Okay, so go ahead and do that. Push pause right now until you do those stitches that you need to do, and then you move on to this next step. Okay, so once you've done either your 5 single crochet or 10, depending on the size that you're working on. So once you've done either your 5 single crochets or 10, you are going to do a single crochet decrease. So what that means is exactly what it sounds like. We're going to decrease this round by a stitch. So we're going to take these 2 stitches and turn them into 1. So you're going to take your hook and push it into that first stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Hold that in place and go ahead and push your hook in that very next stitch. So we just worked into this one. We're going to now push our hook in the very next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. So you can see that we're working in 2 stitches here, and you've got 3 loops on your hook. You're just going to yarn over and pull through all of them. Okay, so we've taken these 2 stitches and we've turned it into that 1. Now you're going to go ahead and just continue around. So if you are working on a kid's or adult small or medium, you're going to do your 5 single crochets. If you're doing an adult large or extra large, you're going to do your 10 single crochets. And then you're going to do another single crochet decrease. Okay, so go ahead and just keep on continuing all the way around, working your single crochets and your single crochet decreases. Close with a slip stitch, chain 1, and then come back. Okay, so if you are working on a child or an adult size medium, you're going to start this next round with a single crochet decrease. And then you're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 7 stitches. Okay, and you're going to do another decrease and then work your single crochet in the next 7 stitches. Single crochet decrease, work a single crochet in the next 7 stitches. You're going to do that all the way around, close with a slip stitch and come back. If you are working on an adult size large or extra large, you're just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around, no more decreases. Okay, close with a slip stitch and then come back. Okay, so for those of you that are working on an adult large or extra large, you are going to fasten off right now. Okay, so just give me 1 second. Actually, no, I'll show you right now what I mean. So if you're working on an adult large or extra large, you'll have closed with a slip stitch and don't chain at all. So if you've done a chain 1, just pull that out like I just did, and you're just going to pull a little extra yarn up. Go ahead and fasten that off. Just give it a cut with the scissors, and you're just going to use a yarn needle and hide that tail end in the stitches on the inside. Okay, just to secure it and hide that end so you don't have a little piece poking out here. For those of you that are working on a child size or an adult smaller medium, you're going to go ahead now and do 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around, and then you're going to close with a slip stitch, fasten off and hide your tail end on the stitches on the inside of the hat. Okay, and that's it. You're done with your super easy crochet slouchy hat. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and don't forget to click subscribe and have a look at the helpful links in the description below.